Earl of Rochester teaching Gabaldon a thing or two.
Okay.
We'll leave him, Dora.
Now lay with Rochester beside her in the tangled bed linen. She was utterly spent, yet felt more alive than she had ever been. Her nether regions were still humming for Rochester's attentions. She had not known it was possible to experience a sensation quite like that his tongue had produced in her, tipping the velvet. Certainly she had never imagined anything like that inexorable build, the shattering release, that had had her gasping, bucking, pulling her head to her, never wanting it to end. Rochester brought her back to the present with a squeeze in her right breast.
Fetch the wine.
Nell turned her head. The wine lay on the table several feet away.
Why they fetch it?
Because I told you to.
She padded naked across to the table, returned with the bottle, and filled the glasses they had abandoned. Propped against the enormous, down-filled pillows, she surveyed the bed and its trappings.
I love this bed. It's so...
This bed is your stage. From such a stage. You could do anything.
Nell set the glass down and moved on her knees closer to him. He kissed her deeply, his tongue probing her mouth. He seized first one breast and then both of them, his fingers playing on her nipples, teasing and then pinching until she gasped. He looked intently into her eyes and pinched harder.
Give me a drink.
She held the glass to his lips and then to her own.
You've spilled it.
He used a finger to wipe a drop from her breast, touched it to her lips, and then thrust it into her mouth.
Suck. Now use your tongue. Good, good. Now stop.
He withdrew his finger slowly from her mouth and pulled her head back so that she had to look at him, then released her and gestured for his wine. Nell felt a curious excitement and anticipation.
You look pleased with yourself.
Should I not? You liked it. See, I've made you hard again.
She reached for his cock, but he stayed her hand.
Yes, but I can make you better. So good that you can leave the feel of your tongue and throat on a man's towels for days.
Nell smiled at him, cat-like.
Very well, my lord. What would you?
She knelt between his thighs, her hands still moving lightly, her eyes looking up at him. Rochester shook his head, impatient.
Do you not understand what power there is in that mouth? These sumptuous tips. That tight cunny of yours.
Power to do what?
Almost anything. Now you can give a man a quick ride that leaves him happy, or a night of play that tires him, but there is more to learn. You can give a man such pleasure, not just in his body, but in his mind, his soul, that you become a drug, so that he will crave you, so that his bollocks will ache. And give him no peace until his prick is once more master of that smooth warmth. And I can train you, pretty pet. God, you little filthy minds. Do you want that?
Nell found that her heart was beating and her loins were on fire. She looked up at Rochester and found that she could hardly breathe.
Yes, my lord.
Good. On your knees. No, off the bed. For this is your God, and you must worship it.
He moved to the edge of the bed and stood, and she knelt at his feet. She took his cock in her hands and kissed it, then took him into her mouth, slowly.
Look at me.
Nell didn't lift her eyes, but took him further into her mouth. Rochester grasped a handful of her hair and yanked her head back.
Look at me! So that I know that my pleasure is all your world.
Nell, breathless now, nodded and kept her eyes on his.
Now, a little harder. Good. Use your tongue. Delicately. Ah, yes, so good. The desperate softness of your tongue and the insistent sucking of your mouth. Now, a hand on the cords. Gently. Gently. They are spun of pure silk. A cloud.
For all the times that Nell had performed this act, she felt as if she had never before truly noticed the feel of a prick in her mouth, of bollocks in her hand. Her tongue slid voluptuously around him, feeling the velvet softness.
Now. The other hand on my shaft. First lightly. Now firm grip. Up and down. Meeting your mouth on its downward journey. Good, good. A little harder now. Now, think of your tongue again. Look at me. Oh, yes. And use your hand to keep the foreskin pulled back. Don't forget the bollocks.
His head was thrown back, his breathing heavy. Nell marveled how she could be giving him pleasure in so many ways at once, and sought to feel each individual sensation at the same time. He looked down at her again and slowed his movements.
Now, put a finger in my ass. Look at me, let me see the promise of what is to come. Yes, gently. Slowly. Oh, now take all of it in. Show me you're hungry for it. Oh, your mouth moving, sucking hard, tongue caressing, hand on the cards. Yes, good. Remember, I am your God. Take me as far down your throat as you can.
He guided her with a hand grasped in her hair, the other hand rolling and squeezing one of her nipples, which were hard as pebbles.
Do you love my cock?
Nell found that she did.
Do you worship it? My arbor vitae, my tree of life.
Yes, that too.
And do you now wish for Holy Communion?
Here it was, the culminating inevitability, and Nell did wish for it.
Then you shall have it.
Rochester came deep in her throat, holding her head fast with one hand, the other hand pinching her nipple hard.
Swallow. Waste not a precious drop now. Look at me. Let me see it in your eyes. It's the nectar of life. Write about what you know is good advice. Sweeter than honey, more potent than brandy wine, and what you crave above all else. Yes, now, a kiss to finish, obeisance to your lord.
It must be a lot of fun to be married to. No, it is, I told her, her lips and nose grazing the damp and delicate flesh.
Eyes on mine.
It's a pity you don't have any lines here. She looked up at him, still nuzzling, he stroked her hair, smoothing the tangled curls from her flushed forehead, and nodded.
Do that, and there is nothing you cannot do.
Nell felt overwhelmed by physical sensations, a tickling mixture of pleasure and pain, the feel of him in her mouth, and the caustic warmth of his skin still at the back of her throat, and a tumult of feelings, joyful submission, exultation, astonishment at the newness of it all. She stared up at Rochester, and shaking her head in amazement.
However did you learn all this?
Rochester gave a lazy smile as he sat on the edge of the bed and leaned back against the pillows.
That's what Europe is for.